It is a Sunday afternoon in the kitchen, and I thought I would make something nice for dinner today. Actually, to be quite honest with you, I was thinking I would just go to the store and get a package of something and just come home and put it in the microwave on high for 2.5 minutes and then stir it and then put it back in the microwave for another minute and then take it out and let it sit for a minute. But as I thought about doing that, I thought that wouldn't make an interesting video. It really wouldn't. I mean, what's interesting about nuking a dish that you could make yourself? So then I set upon myself to think, what should I make? What would be good on a Sunday night? And as I gave it some thought, I thought, yesterday I made something Moroccan, and I watched Casablanca. And then, not too long ago, I think I made something, Hungarian, goulash levesh. That's right. And I thought, you know what? I know what I'll do. I must spend at least, in any given week, I must spend 2 or 3 hours on the phone talking with somebody from India. And I don't necessarily I don't have anything against people from India. I don't have anything against people from anywhere, really. But sometimes it gets a little bit challenging talking to somebody about something really important, and they have this really heavy, heavy accent. They're always polite. Indians are some of the most polite people I've ever met in my life. But sometimes I let my frustration get the better of me because of the communication, the challenge with the communication. And, I thought, I thought to myself, you know what I'll do? I've had this cookbook sitting on my shelf now. I paid $9.99 for this cookbook at Costco. $9.99. And it is it's a wonderful, wonderful cookbook. I mean, there's no shortage of just really, really wonderful photographs in here, or recipes rather, and they all have beautiful, beautiful photographs. A fully illustrated guide to preparing great Indian food, featuring accessible recipes from this popular cuisine. And as I thought about it, I thought, well, the only thing really that I love about Indian food, I go out to an Indian restaurant and I always order the same thing. I order chicken tikka masala. I mean, just the way that rolls off the tongue. Chicken tikka masala. You can say it really quickly 3 times. Chicken tikka masala, chicken tikka masala, chicken tikka masala. You can say it 3 times without a problem. And I don't know necessarily that's why I like it so much. Maybe I like it because of the way it tastes. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make chicken tikka masala. And this, the little introduction to this recipe says this is another one of those dishes that is celebrated in the West, but less well known in India itself. It is said to be Britain's favorite chicken dish. In this version, tender chicken pieces are cooked in a creamy, spicy tomato sauce and served on naan bread. So that's what's on the menu tonight, chicken tikka masala. And one of the ingredients for chicken tikka masala is tikka paste. I got to get tikka paste. It would make sense if you're going to make chicken tikka masala that you've got to have tikka. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I've ever seen tikka before down at the grocery store. I don't know, but maybe they've got it. And then as I was reading a little bit further under the cooking tips, it says make your own tikka paste. Make your own tikka paste using the basic recipe in the introduction of this book, or use a good quality bought paste. So there we go. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make chicken tikka masala, and we'll start off by making the tikka paste. Okay, and that in and by itself is going to be quite a recipe, as you'll see here in a moment as I share with you the ingredients for that. So let's get started. And here you would have the ingredients to make the tikka paste. This is a delicious, versatile paste. It has a slight sour flavor and can be used in a variety of Indian dishes, including chicken tikka masala, tandoori chicken, and tikka masala. Whatever. Use sparingly, as a little bit goes a long way. Store the paste in airtight glass jars in the refrigerator until required. Well, I'm not going to need to store it very long because I'm going to be using it tonight. So as you look at the ingredients, look at all those spices that go into this. So starting off, you have the 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds, 2 tablespoons of cumin seeds, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 or 2 tablespoons of paprika. I don't know if they're going to care that it's from Hungary, being this an Indian recipe, but I'm just going to have to make do. So then it also has 1 tablespoon of garam masala. I love the way these names roll off the tongue. 1 tablespoon of ground ginger, 2 teaspoons of chili powder. I'm going to use medium hot for this. And then I'm going to be using 1/2 teaspoon of ground turmeric, 1 tablespoon of dried mint. We're going to have 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. You can see I've got the lemon right there. A few drops of red and yellow food coloring. I actually don't have that here in the lineup, but I do have it. So we're going to have just a few drops of red food coloring and yellow food coloring. 2/3 a cup of wine vinegar. And I'm going to use pomegranate infused red wine vinegar right there. So, and then also we're going to have that's 2/3 a cup of the wine vinegar and 2/3 of a cup of the vegetable oil right over there. So step 1, what is step 1? Step 1 is we're actually going to grind the coriander and cumin seeds to a fine powder using a spice mill or a mortar and pestle. I'm going to use the latter of the two. Spoon the mixture into a bowl and add the remaining spices, the mint, the salt, stirring well. So we'll go ahead and get that started. And there's number 2. Mix the spice powder with the lemon juice, food colorings, and wine vinegar. Add 2 tablespoons of water to form a thin paste. And heat the oil in a large pan or wok. Stir fry the paste for 10 minutes until the water's been absorbed. When the oil rises to the surface, the paste is cooked. Leave to cool before spooning into airtight jars. So let's get started. And there would be my 4 tablespoons, 2 each of coriander seeds and cumin. And I ground those as best I could. It sure does smell good. I gotta tell you that. And for those of you that have never actually seen what a coriander seed looks like, I'm sure there's some of you out there. But this is a coriander seed, if you can see that. Those are what coriander seeds look like. So 2 tablespoons of those ground up, and then also 2 tablespoons of these seeds ground up. I actually heard that for those of you trying out there that like chewing gum or what have you, a lot of times people will say that you throw some of these in your mouth and chew these. It'll freshen your breath. But I'm not worried about freshened breath right now. I'm just worried about making my chicken tikka masala. I've added all the other spices to the ground coriander and the cumin seeds. And boy, it sure does smell good. You can see. So now we're going to mix all of that. I actually put in a little bit too much mint. It's important to pay attention. And a recipe called for 1 tablespoon of dried mint, and I put in 2. So I tried to spoon out the better part of a tablespoon, but it might come out tasting a little bit minty. So that'll be okay. So we'll go ahead and put that in with the. We're mixing that with the lemon. I think it was a teaspoon of lemon, 2/3 a cup of the red wine vinegar, and 2 tablespoons of water. And there was something else in there, but anyway, so I'm going to mix this into a paste, just like the recipe says. I think this is going to be really, really good. We will see, as the saying goes. I've been heating 2/3 of a cup of oil. Doesn't say what kind. I chose vegetable oil. It says to heat the oil in a large pan, karahi or wok, and stir fry the paste for 10 minutes until all the water has been absorbed. When the oil rises to the surface, the paste is cooked. So I'm going to go ahead and add the paste like this. So we're going to stir, and can't say I've ever stir-fried paste before, but we're going to stir-fry the paste until the oil rises to the top. All right, I've been cooking this now for the better part of 5 of the 10 minutes, and I'm not a cook. I just play one on YouTube. And the water, I would assume that what you're seeing right there is the water boiling, separating from the oil. So we'll let that cook about another 4 minutes, and that water will be absorbed into the tikka masala, or the tikka paste, I should say, and the oil will rise to the top. I've heard the cream rising to the top, but never the oil. All right, I don't know if this is tikka paste like the mother of one of the people that I talked to on the Google support over in India would make, but it smells good, and I bet it's I'm pretty good about following the recipe, so I think this is your tikka paste. Now let's get on with the rest of the recipe. Continuing on, I mixed 3 tablespoons, or I'm about to mix 3 tablespoons of the tikka paste with 4 tablespoons of a low-cal yogurt, just plain yogurt. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that up really, really well. It's starting to look a little bit like what I would go down and buy at Costco, to be quite honest with you. And then you have 1.5 pounds of chicken. I use chicken breast cut into cubes of about 1 inch, maybe a little bit bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish mixing this, and then I'm going to put the chicken in there and let it marinate for the better part of about 20 minutes. Here would be the ingredients for the actual main course. And the ingredients for this, it's 1.5 pounds of chicken breast, which has been marinating over there for about 20 minutes now. So 1.5 pounds of chicken breast, skinned, and then you want the 6 tablespoons of tikka paste, which I actually made, and 3 tablespoons went into that with 4 tablespoons of the yogurt, and then there's the other 3 tablespoons of the tikka paste right over there. Also, I'm going to have half a cup. It says half a cup of natural plain low-fat yogurt. So I'm not quite sure. We'll see. I mixed 4 tablespoons in with that, and I'm not sure what. We'll read the recipe and find out. But tablespoon of oil, and then you want 1 onion chopped. So there's 1 onion chopped, and then I also have what else? 1 garlic clove, which was crushed, and you see that right there. And then also, one of my favorites, at least from the smell, is the 1-inch piece of fresh ginger root that's been grated. I'm going to have 1 fresh green chili. They didn't actually have fresh green chili, so I went with a canned version that was seeded. They want it to be seeded. 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, which you see right back there. And then a little melted butter, or ghee, whatever that is. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, which I have right there. And fresh coriander, or cilantro sprigs. And low-fat yogurt and toasted cumin seeds to garnish. And then naan bread to serve. So the very first thing that we're going to do, you can see this. I've already done this here, and that's marinating. So now what we're going to do is heat the oil in a heavy pan and fry the onion, garlic, chili, and ginger for 5 minutes. Add the remaining tikka paste and fry for 2 minutes. Stir the tomato puree and water. Bring to the boil and simmer for 15 minutes. So that's step number 1. The onion and the garlic and the ginger and the green pepper has been cooking now for about 5 minutes, and I'm going to add the remaining 3 tablespoons of the Tikka paste. And I'm going to cook this for, the better part of 2 or 3 minutes. So we'll get that mixed in. And while that's doing that, I got to get the chicken that's been marinating in the other Tikka paste and the yogurt, and I got to get that onto the skewers. You can see the chicken is all ready to be broiled. You're actually going to put this chicken. You're going to brush the chicken with brush the chicken lightly with the melted butter, and cook under a medium heat for 15 minutes, turning the skewers occasionally. So I've got to improvise a little bit, and I turned the broiler in my oven onto low, and I dropped the pan down, and I'm going to just rest these skewers right on top of this pot, and put these underneath the broiler for 15 minutes. I added the water, 1 cup, and a tablespoon of the tomato paste, and I'm going to let this come to a boil and then just simmer for about 10 minutes. And it's already starting to simmer, as you can see. And while that simmers, I'm going to do my best attempt here. I'm not going to tell you to try this at home, but I'm going to do my best attempt here to get these chicken pieces underneath the broiler. So I have positioned the rack right about there, and I'm going to put this pan right underneath there and let these cook for about 15 minutes. And I'm going to rotate them as they cook. It's been the better part of 15 minutes, and this here has been simmering, I should say. And the chicken is chicken's coming along. It's not necessarily the most ideal solution as far as cooking the chicken, but I've been rotating these pieces and just letting them cook. And I have the broiler on low, so it shouldn't be too much longer. All right, as you can see, I emptied out the sauce that was simmering for 15 minutes, and I put it into a food processor, and I food processed it. And now I'm going to add it with the remaining yogurt, which is actually 4 tablespoons. So the recipe calls for 8 or half of a cup. Calls for half of a cup of yogurt, and 4 you divide that in 2. So with a little assistance from my friend Alexa, I found out that there are 8 or 16 tablespoons in a cup. So half a cup would be 8, and there you have it. So I'm going to go ahead and let this mix, and here shortly I'm just going to add the chicken that has been under the broiler now for the better part of 20 minutes, and I'll let that simmer for the better part of about 5 minutes, and it should almost be ready to dig in. So let's see how this is going to take. I let the chicken cook the better part of 20 minutes, and just to be cautious, you can never be too cautious when you're cooking meat. So I just wanted to make sure that it was cooked throughout, and I cut a few pieces open, and it looks good. So I'm going to add this along with the other chicken on the skewers to the simmering sauce here, and let it simmer for 5 minutes with the chicken in it, and then serve it up. It is just about that time, and I wish I could somehow or another magically take the smell of this chicken tikka masala and send it through the video to you, because it sure smells good. I gotta tell you that. It looks better than that. I would have gone down to the store and bought it at Costco. Maybe not as good as going to an Indian restaurant, but maybe it is. We'll find out here in just a moment. So that's been simmering for the better part of 5 or 10 minutes. I have some ground, or not ground, rather. I have some nice cumin seed that's been browned, and over here I have my rice that's been cooking. You gotta have some nice rice, and down here, this wouldn't be complete without some naan bread. So let's get this on the table and into my stomach. All right, so here's my favorite part. This is the part where I'm supposed to say something funny and make you laugh. But you know, whenever I used to laugh at something with my dad, bless his heart and rest his soul. Whenever I used to say something funny to my dad, or I'd laugh at something my dad would say, he would, in good spirit, he'd say, "You laugh. I used to laugh." But anyway, so I'm going to enjoy my chicken tikka masala. I hope I'm going to enjoy it. Let me give it a little taste. Let's see here. I've got it all dialed in. Oh, goodness gracious. You know, I got to give a shout out to, I think it was Mike and his lovely wife who sent me this shirt, Tom TV. I rather like it. You know, it's really, really a nice little compliment to my videos. So thank you. If you're ever down in the Fort Myers area and you want a little chicken tikka masala, then just stop by and I'll be happy to make some for you. Boy, that is really good. It's really, really good. So anyway, I'm not going to tell you to run out and make this recipe tomorrow. It took a little while to make it, to be quite honest with you. And all the while I'm making it, I'm thinking, okay, you got to finish what you started. And in between thinking about finishing what I started, and the ingredients and what have you, I found myself thinking, you know, I could have driven, in the time it took me to make this, I could have driven down the street and found an Indian restaurant with good reviews on Yelp or Google, and walked in, and they probably would have had some chicken tikka masala. But there's something to be said about doing it yourself. So anyway, have a good night, everybody. Take good care. I should actually show you how this came out. Take a look. If you can see that. Actually came out rather nice. I'm quite pleased. So, all right, take good care. Bye-bye.